TAEKOOK is not fan fiction. Jungkook and Taehyung say this, and it all becomes clear. In a moment not recorded by cameras, not officially published, and not intended for public consumption, two BTS members, Jungkook and Taehyung uttered a phrase fans had been waiting for so long. The statement was not explicit, but it was enough to change public perception. Our relationship does not need to be explained. We're just there always. A simple sentence, but its resonance resonates widely. Is TAEKOOK not just a fandom delusion? Have we missed something real all these years? The gestures that had been considered fan service began to lose their pretentious nuance. Seemingly spontaneous body movements, gazes too long to be called coincidences, and comforts too organic for management to compose, all slowly became voiceless evidence. In interviews and live broadcasts, they rarely talk about their personal relationships. But when they did, the silence between sentences was much louder than anything netizens could type. Interesting fact, Taehyung once stated that he can only really relax in the presence of certain people who do not demand anything from him. In a late-night V-Live broadcast, Jungkook interrupted Taehyung's comments with a smile and a low sentence. "I know, I'm on that list." The comment passed me by, but for those who noticed, it was more than a joke. Their togetherness is not an illusion. They are present in the work of each other, in even the smallest details. Taehyung paints a silhouette of a black-haired male figure in his abstract work. Jungkook added background vocals that closely resemble Taehyung's voice in one of the demos of the song that was never officially released. Is it all just a form of appreciation between friends? Or is there an emotional language that only they understand? In BTS' latest documentary, Break the Silence, an unplanned scene shows them sitting side by side in a backstage corner after a concert. There's not much to talk about, but small gestures, like when Jungkook reflexively pulls Taehyung's hoodie down, or when Taehyung gently touches Jungkook's knee when he hears the noise of fans outside the venue, hint at something that can't be faked. The issue of TAEKOOK has become a modern myth in pop culture. Many refer to it as fan engineering, a form of wishful thinking from a fandom obsessed with romantic narratives. But on the other hand, too many clues cannot be ignored. Too many moments that, if only called coincidences, would make us question the very definition of coincidence a few years ago when BTS performed at a year-end music event. The camera captured a flashback moment backstage. At that moment, Taehyung looked anxious and tried to hide his nervousness. Jungkook approached and said only 2 words, "I'm here." Taehyung's reaction? Silent, but his expression softened. The moment lasted 3 seconds, was not included in the official broadcast, but leaked and immediately went viral. Because for many fans, it's not acting. It was honesty that managed to escape the censorship of the entertainment industry. But are they more than just close friends? Or is it that their closeness is too pure and complicated to be labeled in simple terms? In an interview with a Japanese magazine, when asked about their relationship, Taehyung replied, "We never tried to explain that. Because when you label something, you limit it." The statement is not a confirmation, but also not a denial. It stands in an uncomfortable but meaningful gray space. She shows emotional maturity and an understanding of the complexities of human relationships, especially in a South Korean entertainment industry landscape that is still taboo against anything emotionally ambiguous, let alone romantic. Jungkook, in a question and answer session with fans, once said, "There are people you don't need to explain why you always come back to them. You just know that you need them in your life." No name calling, but it's not necessary. The world already knows who is meant. For some people, TAEKOOK is fiction. But for those who are really paying attention, TAEKOOK is a narrative that requires no recognition. They are 2 people who, in all that is not said, have said everything. When the public demands answers, they instead give a silence that speaks much deeper. In the end, it may be true that not all relationships should have labels. Perhaps some bonds are indeed created not to be explained, only felt. In a world hungry for certainty, perhaps they are the exception, a living relation between cues, pauses, and silences. Is TAEKOOK really not fan fiction? Perhaps the answer has been around for a long time. embedded between songs played at rehearsals, in color paint accidentally stuck to jackets, in fleeting glances that the camera does not notice. Perhaps the answer is not yes or no, but they never needed to explain it, because from the very beginning we all knew. But amid the emotional surge and deep conviction felt by TAEKOOK fans, we need to pull one step back. Does all this really reflect reality? Or are we caught up in a narrative so skillfully constructed on social media, video snippets, and emotional interpretations? Is it possible that all of this, from the gaze caught on camera to the ambiguous words in the interview, is part of an illusory game that capitalizes on the public's need for an offbeat love story? We live in an era where a 5-second clip cut can create a theory that lasts for 5 years. Should the usual interaction between two best friends always be interpreted as something more? If Jungkook touched Taehyung's shoulder, why do we immediately assume there is a hidden meaning behind it? If Taehyung plays Jungkook's favorite song on his Instagram, is it evidence of an intimate relationship or just a form of best friend's attention? More than that, we also need to question, how big is the role of the media in shaping our perception? Viral TikTok videos, fancam footage on Twitter, TAEKOOK moment compilations on YouTube, to lengthy speculations in Reddit threads, all composed with compelling narratives, dramatic music, and emotional points of view. But does it all show the facts? Or just presenting intelligently curated illusions to satisfy the audience's desire for something more than friendship? In this case, it is important to admit that the information circulating about TAEKOOK does not come from official sources. The truth of the videos, articles, and interpretations that we see is still speculative. Many of the visual pieces have been edited in such a way as to appear to support a particular narrative. Many sentences from the interview are taken out of context. Have we unknowingly become part of a system that reinforces our own biases? Let's reflect on this. Are we really hearing what Jungkook and Taehyung are saying, or are we just hearing what we want to hear? Do we read their statements with objectivity, or through the lens of personal expectations and fandom expectations? And most importantly, if they're just best friends who understand each other, why do we feel compelled to impose a more romantic narrative? We're not saying that TAEKOOK is a lie, but we also cannot say that all theories about them are absolute truth. The Korean celebrity world, especially K-pop, is well aware of the emotional impact of every gesture made in public. Is it possible that TAEKOOK's interactions were also consciously or unconsciously utilized as a form of strategy to maintain fans' emotional attachment to the group? As media consumers, we need to realize one important thing. Narratives can be shaped, perceptions can be directed, and feelings can be manipulated. Therefore, critical thinking is not just an option, but a necessity to SO. We invite you to answer honestly to yourself. Are you sure the TAEKOOK relationship you've always believed in is true? Or is it just a reflection of what you want to believe? Does this news reinforce your beliefs? Or does it actually make you realize how powerful the influence of media narratives can be on public opinion? Have you ever verified the source of information you see on TikTok, YouTube, or Twitter before believing it? In the midst of a rush of information, we must learn to not only absorb, but also filter. Not everything that is emotional is factual. Not everything that makes our heart tremble is a reflection of reality. We do not give a definite answer. We just open up the space to ask, is what we've always believed about TAEKOOK the truth, or the emotional comfort we've nurtured together in silence? Because in the end, the truth doesn't always speak out loud. Sometimes it is hidden behind the noise of the world that we want to believe. Thank you for watching openly and reflectively. Don't stop asking. Don't stop thinking. Because love, friendship, and narrative are 3 things that are very easy to misunderstand when we forget to look clearly.